Hey, Outlaws. I'm guilty, honestly, right now of not knowing that Berserk Chapter 378 was out. I guess I kind of tuned out on Berserk after getting another disappointing chapter back at 377. So today I was just looking up and I was like, oh, there's Chapter 378. And I'll admit that compared to all the other chapters past, God, it's been like 2 years now. This one's actually, I think, one of the best ones. Finally getting some moving around here, a lot going on, a lot of questions that were raised up. So here we go. We're going to go down this road. Big call out to Bjorn, who always likes to watch these videos, and then hopefully everybody else here, you'll enjoy as well. Okay, so chapter 378 starts off with Rakshas breaking out the Northern Lord's back, the guy that was kind of like talking trash and kind of pushing buttons with Ceolot, and not so much with the Emperor, but a little bit about lashing out. So he just literally just bursted right out of him like a freaking alien. However, something seems off about Rakshas as his mask is broken. We see it cracked and broken in half. I believe it was from his fight with Rickert, which now appears to have actually killed him. If you have read the chapter, you know he kind of admits that he was dead. So Rakshas himself also questions his own existence and seems to be shocked that he's even alive, as we see in the new manga chapter. And in his confusion, he's looking around. He angrily lashes out at the nearby Kushins that are like making tons of noise, only for him to be thwarted by some of the Bakiraka assassins that Ceolot had on standby to basically, just in case something like this would have happened. He probably was more expecting humans to act up and do something stupid. So Rakshas soon regains some of his memories and recalls being in Qliphoth's capital city and fighting, but then he recognizes Ceolot and refers to him as the young master. Now, I didn't know this, maybe some of you guys didn't know this, but I guess Rakshas was actually once a Bakiraka member, so he knows Ceolot, and Ceolot knows him. There's a lot of animosity between these two, as you'll see in this chapter. But the main question is, if Rakshas had died, which seems like he did, then how did he get away from the Abyss? You guys remember back when Wild was killed, he got dragged to the Abyss. The Bandhawk saw that. When the Count was killed, he also had the Abyss come and grab him. And it was kind of, it's been stated that they cannot be resurrected once they were there by the God Hands themselves. So how did Rakshas come back? And why did he come breaking out of somebody's body? Was it some kind of weird sacrifice that was going on? Was the Northern Lord just a plant? Who knows? And the other question is, who is actually summoning him at the Kushan Imperial City? So their fight is interrupted when a storm falls upon the Kushan City in the form of a tornado, and the wizard Daiba kind of mentions out that he feels them the astral gates, and feels a dark power overtake the Kushan City. Now we then are brought over to a scene where it's in the market of the Kushan City. If you're walking around, it's kind of a weird scene for me, because suddenly goblin-like creatures merge out from like blood puddles and they start attacking people. But for some reason, when you look at the people that are watching all going on, they seemed just slightly confused, if not somewhat unconcerned. They look more like someone who's just done something really foolish, and they're just kind of like, especially that guy in the far left corner. I mean, just look at that. So we're then whisked away to my number one favorite red flag heroine turned wife material, Farnese, who expresses concern that a dark ode has taken over the city. Farnese rushes off, leaving Shirkei unguarded. Well, not entirely unguarded. There's some people still watching her. She rushes off after getting the unpleasant familiar feeling that she last had when she was surrounded by creatures and stuck in the deep realm of Qliphoth. That was back when she was watching Casca, when Casca was still a potato, and she was the only one left there to defend her after they got swept away by the water. And she's rushing off to go do this, and just literally in time, she gets ambushed by several goblins, and out of nowhere comes Serpico. And it's funny, if you look at this whole entire drawing graphic right here, Serpico is just kind of dressed up to be like the hero in action. It reminds me of that one scene where Guts saved Casca when she was basically forced to be an involuntary adult group party witch and just slice away. And I was sitting there for a minute. I was like, I sincerely hope that Studio Gaga are not trying to make Serpico and Farnese a thing. Like, can we avoid that whole brother sister thing, please? Let's do that. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so Farnese tells Serpico that the domain of Qliphoth is manifesting around the city, and that they need to discover the source. And she believes that those trolls that Serpico just completely swacked away with his feather duster are very similar to the same type of trolls that they first saw while back in that city. Now, the question again is, who is manifesting Qliphoth? We know why they are doing it, since a direct attack on the Kushan city, while many figureheads are present, would lead to chaos in their ranks and would further basically crumble, if not just completely handicap, any further opposition to Qliphoth. Or it could also have been a power grab to kill off all the leadership. Honestly, though, I'm not really sure that summoning another realm like this and getting trolls in here is really a tactic for Qliphoth. So I believe it's not him. And the last time we were introduced to the realm of Qliphoth, the godhead member Slan materialized herself there to tempt Guts. Quite literally while she was made of guts. Anyways, Tessa's aside, Slan is pretty hot, but be careful, guys. She tends to rearrange her own guts. All right, I'll stop. All right, so back being serious. Is this another attack staged by Slan? And why would she be bringing Rakshas back to life? Because there's no real connection between those two. So I don't really believe that Slan is the one here. I think it's somebody else. And there was really no hints of her emerging from her realm. I mean, I know last time she kind of just appeared out of nowhere with the guts and surprised people, but would she do the same thing twice? Maybe. I think that's why a lot of people are assuming it is her, because she appeared in that realm before. And it kind of just crumbled once she was pushed away. So I'm not entirely convinced it's her, though. But I have a theory, and this could be pretty far-fetched. I do have another theory that there's another power player, possibly another reincarnation of Emperor Ganishka. Now, I know we saw him defeated by Guts and Zod, and then Qliphoth when Skull Knight tried to kill him, but is he actually dead? When I looked it up through the wiki and other sources, I didn't really find anything confirming 100% that he was dead, just that his body kind of turned into a transformation, kind of like transformed into the world tree as we see it now, or it caused the bringing of the world tree, but nothing conclusive that he's actually dead. And again, if Rakshas has been resurrected, which we see he has, that means that the barrier, the change, like people being actually changed to the abyss, really isn't permanent anymore. And this could be that it's a possible chance that Ganishka has come back, because even if he had been killed, he might have been able to escape the abyss. It's a very far-fetched theory, and I don't really have any evidence to prove otherwise. But it just doesn't make sense for Rakshas to be there attacking the Kushan city, and more importantly, attacking the Kushan city during a time where all the main figureheads would be meeting up, and the only person that really would know that, would be familiar with it, would be the Emperor. I mean, I'm sure they could use some line like Qliphoth has spies everywhere, blah, blah, blah. But this doesn't really seem to be led by Qliphoth, so I'm excusing that one right away. What do you guys think, Outlaws? Freaking slam it down in the comment section. Okay, so Daiba confirms that summoning Qliphoth, at least this kind of power, is beyond the abilities, as he puts it, of any dumb apostle. And then we are left hanging before he fully answers and says who he think it actually is before moving on to the fight. Now, we are swept back and to across the city of our heroes and our lovely heroines, all reacting to the emerging threat and the screaming of trolls attracting the helpless Kushan citizens. And I'll be honest, there, like a little bit of humor from Studio Gaga here. As you can see, you've got the random fat wizard kid freaking chewing on his food while the trolls themselves are about to go rush and attack him and eat him as freaking food. He's just sitting there just like, ah. So, that's kind of funny. All right, so we go back to the throne room. Sealot is about to attack Rakshas. However, all of a sudden, their elephant pens break open, and these elephant war beasts just come storming out, rushing around everywhere, and then it kind of distracts the other Kushans. But Sealot, you can just tell that he just has a deep hatred for Rakshas, because he doesn't let that distract him. Instead, he just goes right in there and attacks Rakshas right away. And then last, but definitely not least, we see our good old depressed boy Guts finally opens his eyes. Our warrior wakes up to say, "This will do." Well, at least maybe he's thinking of it. I don't know. He looks very unhappy. I don't see a brand of sacrifice bleeding, though. So we'll see where that goes. But the question is, will Guts actually do anything? He's been down in the depressed dumps for like several chapters now. I think it's been like, what, 2 years since Qliphoth stole... Well, two years in real life, not in manga life, that Qliphoth stole Casca. And it's like, honestly, it's like, it feels like Guts' hero's journey that I talked about a couple years ago seems to have taken complete vacation. Like, just left, gone. Because there seems to be really no hurry on Studio Gaga's part or Koji Mori to explain why he is down the dump, nor to conclude whatever it is that Shirke was trying to complete when she reached him. Remember, we saw the image of Guts falling to the dark abyss, and then Shirke reaching him, and then both seeing a very bright, blinding light. So, and that was just kind of just left there a few chapters ago. But anyways, that is a video for another day. I don't want this to go on too long. Outlaws, I'll see you next time.